So, I have been investing hours playing the first Descendant and finally have a partial build for Bunny. This Descendant is by far the best farming character in the game, and there's no wonder why 99% of the player base is running around with Bunny right now. The build I'm about to show you gives you the maximum damage output to farm even hard mode with this character, along with the survivability setup that will please all those Ajax mains. First of all, let's discuss Bunny's abilities. Her first ability is called Thrill Bomb, and this skill deals electric damage to multiple enemies within the area. The enemies will also get electrocuted, which continuously damages the target. Her second ability is called Speed of Light, and this allows Bunny to have insane mobility. This ability makes Bunny fun to play, and this has a special mechanic wherein Bunny gains an electricity buff. Every time you travel, Bunny stack the electricity until it reaches maximum capacity. Now, this electricity buff plays a big role for Bunny, as the higher the electric charge, the more damage her first and third abilities deal. Then, you can only use her fourth ability if you have a charge in your electricity bar. The next ability is called Lightning Emission, and this skill is best paired with the Speed of Light to create a running and nuking setup for the Descendant. In my build, you can reach 200,000 damage per tick of this ability at max electricity buff, but it has the potential to reach more given that I only have enough module capacity right now in my build to farm hard mode levels smoothly. Finally, her fourth ability is called Maximum Power, and it allows you to use a beam of lightning that dishes out insane damage to enemies. At max electricity, you can beam enemies much longer with the skill, and this allows the skill also to deal increased damage. At maximum power, it can deal insane damage to intercept bosses, especially if they are weak against electric. It's also best used against those Capsule of the Devourer that let the boss regenerate health. Aside from the electricity passive, Bunny can also deal electric AoE damage upon landing after performing a double jump. Bunny's abilities are pretty straightforward, and the generic gameplay of this Descendant is to run around while nuking enemies with her third ability. The only problematic part is that knowing what modules work with the skills, which we will tackle next. So this is the build I'm currently using for Bunny. By the way, the energy activator and as well as the crystallization catalyst used in this Descendant came from the free-to-play path, which you can acquire during the campaign progression. With 80 module capacity, I was able to equip these mods, which by the way, I have farmed mostly in the anticipated ambush point and sterile land hard mode. The only modules I haven't farmed in the mission are Nimble Fingers, Strong Mentality, and the MP Collector. This module is one of the best in slot for Bunny, as it gives you the chance to regain energy after killing an enemy. With high output, you can pair this with the energy orb drops by enemies you have killed to continuously run with Speed of Light, increasing your maximum electricity charge, which then gives you increased damage output. The farm of this is kind of hellish though, as you will need to get this from the Void Fusion Reactor in Vesper Ruins, but I strongly suggest that you get it, as it's one of the ways to get rid of Bunny's energy problem. Another way is to equipping skill cost reduction modules such as Strong Mentality. Then, I also added Nimble Fingers and focus on electricity for the skill cooldown. This is great for her third ability, as this will give you enough cooldown reduction to cast the ability again once the duration expires. To increase the damage of her third ability, I decided to go with Singular Specialist for obvious reasons. And finally, for the survivability, I decided to go with increased health paired with increased defense and the Electric Transition skill module. I have no choice but to put the skill module in this build, as I only have 4 module capacity left, and an Electric Transition only costs 4 module slots at max rank. However, this doesn't mean that I don't benefit from this skill. While moving or running while Speed of Light is active, this skill module allows me to regenerate shield, which increases my survivability. I don't know if you noticed this, but based from my tests, it seems like defense also lowered the damage done to your shield, but not as good as it lowers the damage from your health values. I would have gone with pure shield build, but the problem is, health is more dependable since there will be health drops from enemies killed. Soon I will farm more catalysts for this build, and I'm planning to increase its survivability, but not through shield, but from the psychological victory module that decreases the incoming damage and also gives you AMP recovery modifier. I can also add more electric or skill power to this build in the future to increase the damage of my lightning emission ability. However, I can also have the option to put more survivability with defense modules or even shield, as the main source to increase the damage of your third ability is from your reactor and the external components you equipped. And before we proceed to that, I would also like to share that I have tried the skill extension module for the duration, but it's really not necessary once you have the skill cooldown module. In addition, I also tried a skill critical hit rate setup with skill insight, but the only problem is that it only increases to 21% after putting the module. Maybe I can add this when I have extra module capacity, along with the skill critical damage module, but for now I'm happy with the 200,000 damage I have on my lightning emission at max electricity charge. It's also enough against hard mode enemies, so I have no complaints yet with my build. Finally, there was a Reddit post I saw earlier in the first Descendant subreddit about the damage reduction equivalent, and it seems like for my build I have 40% damage reduction values. I can see this take effect on the health values, but I don't know how much damage reduction defense does on shield, but based on experience testing it in the laboratory, the defense does lower the damage taken by the shield, but not as well as on health. Now for the reactor, I choose to have a tingling singular reactor so that my third ability will have more damage, and finally the best in slot external components for this build are the supernova external components, which you can farm in the hard mode execution or void intercept battle. 4 of these external components will give you extra electric damage, and it has a chance to trigger the executioner's thunderbolt at a 50% chance, which does an area of effect lightning strike that deals 100% on my skill power. Take note of the extra modifier that your external components have. There are instances where you can get more defense stat from your component, which increases the survivability of your bunny further. Also, I would strongly recommend the elemental resistance if you can farm it in the hard mode executioner. So far, this is the best build I came up with bunny for now, but I'll soon be updating this once I finally have the electric condense skill module. In my opinion, electric condense will perfect pair with the supernova external components, and I really can't wait to get it. In case you are wondering why I'm craving for the skill module, I have used it already during the crossplay beta, and what the module does is make Bunny's 4th ability somehow similar to the lightning emission, but it's an insane nuke that literally explodes and deals high damage to enemies. This is perfect to use in one-shotting dungeon bosses, especially with those pesky orb mechanic. Right now, I'm farming the hell out of the sepulture just to get the skill module for Bunny. When I get the skill module, I will still have the same build but replace the skill slot. That's it. Now go try out this bunny build for yourself. Before leaving, we humbly ask that you like this video if you find it informative, and subscribe to our channel if you want to check out more of the first Descendant guides. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again in our next video. Squad Leader, signing off.